What's up everybody, Teancum here with Sew Yeah Quilting. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you make these wacky wonky blocks. Let's get started. Before we dive right on into the cutting and assembly directions of this project, let me talk a little bit about this quilt. As you can see here, this quilt we took a little extra time in, cut out jean pockets, shirt pockets, all sorts of pockets here, and actually this is my mother's quilt who made for my little sister who is on a mission for our church, which is going out to her right now. Luckily it's a Christmas present, and since she's out on her mission she can't watch this, so it's still a secret. But let me show you how you assemble these blocks, and let's dive right on into the cutting instructions. Now essentially what we did to make this next quilt that you'll see, and I'll show you some of these blocks here that we've already made. It's some fun, vibrant colors here. And this is just made with a 5-yard bundle. Let me show you how we make it. What you're going to want to do is start off with a rough shape, and let me go through my scraps here. And again, this is scrap friendly as well. So I've got this rough shape here. I'm going to lay it down just like so, and then you want to add another shape onto it. Now I'm going to just add a smaller piece here, and again it doesn't have to be straight, it doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to add this green right here to the top. I'm going to put it on just like, let's do it just like that. Now I'm going to sew this all the way down. Now what makes this so nice is nothing has to be really straight. It's supposed to be wacky and wonky. So I've got my first piece on there just like so. So there's going to be a lot of finger pressing today, but what we're going to want to do is pull out a ruler, pull out your rotary cutter. Once you make a seam, go ahead and trim off 1/4 inch away from that seam. That way you don't get a lot of bulk right there at the end. But I am going to leave these little excess pieces here on the edge because we most likely will run over those again. So now that we've got our first piece on, I'm going to add a larger piece here, like this purple, and I'm going to just cut myself off a little piece here, and we're going to add it onto my block just like so. Again guys, it's more of a lay down, sew it, and keep repeating this process, almost like a flip and sew. But one thing you have to be mindful of, I almost just made that mistake, is sometimes we just lay it down and sew, but if you sew right here and flip this, you now can just cover up your project. So before I make that mistake again, I lay it down just like so and sew all the way down. Again, I'm going to lay this down like so, and you see how I ran over my green here again? That's why we want to keep that little excess there, and I'm going to again trim everything off 1/4 inch away from my seam. Lay those aside, open this up, and you can see how this block is now taking shape. Let's grab another color. I'm going to trim off this piece here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it down just like so. Let's get a good angle there. Now when you end up with bigger pieces like this one right here, like my purple I've got, let me get this cut off so I can show you. You don't want to throw this away because it can be useful later on. So you can see our block is being built. We're just going to keep repeating this process over and over again until we get the right size of block. I'm going to cut myself off another piece here. I'm going to add it to this side here. Get that nice and finger pressed. And this is what I was talking about here. So I've got this little piece here. Once I open this up, I'm going to just take this little piece and attach them on right here. That way you can keep using up these scraps all the way throughout your project. Open that up. Now I've got a solid base here to work with, so I'm going to add on to the left and on top next. Let me grab a new color here. Let me see what my options are. I think I'm going to go with this rustic color one more time. I want a triangle piece, which I'll be sewing on to my green and my purple here. How big does this need to be?
10.5.
Now the target block size that I'm going for is about 10.5 inches, which I'm pretty good so far. I just need to add on some more here and some more on the top. And let's throw this purple back in there. And I'm going to go with just a strip here. I just like to have a pile here of all the pieces that I might need. Makes it a little bit easier on me. Now, this piece is actually going to work really well here in just 1 second. I'm going to open this up. Open this up so we're getting a good idea of what it looks like. I'm going to take this piece that's already a little bit sewn together and I'm going to add it on right here, which needs to go the other direction or else it won't be sewn on properly. That way I get these little teeny pieces added in there to give it a little bit more color without having to sew all those pieces together. So a nice size piece there. So when I open this up, you can see how that adds quite a little bit of color there. Now I'm going to grab, I haven't used the first piece that I started with in a minute. So I'm going to take a piece off this. And we are going to add it on right there. I need a piece right here and a piece right here to finish off the size that I need. I'm going to grab this green and let me cut off a piece about that big, which I'll be sewing on to the end here, completing that side. Now this is a block that just keeps on growing and getting bigger, and you can make it as big or with as small of pieces as you like. There we go there, and we're gonna add one piece on there, and let's do the, I think I got a piece right there that would work. Yep, we're gonna use this rainbow colored one. And we are going to put it on like this. Now as my final little piece here, I've got my strip that I just cut off. I'm gonna lay it down like so to fill off or finish up this piece here. So let's get that sewn on. What the next step is we're going to starch this really well, press it all out, and make sure our seams are as flat as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and then I'll show you how to cut it. So now that we've got this pressed out, I just want to clarify a couple of things. Is an easy way to check this is you get a 10 by 10 ruler, drop it on there, and you can just cut it straight out. But we still have a ton of fabric left. We can still keep making these blocks and making these blocks. And don't forget about the scraps. The scraps can be those little add-in pieces, so don't forget about those as you're going. Now, what I want to show you that's so important about this is I'm going to bring this into the frame here, and I'm going to kind of pick where I want this to be. That's looking good right there. I'm going to cut this out all the way, and this is a 10.5 inch ruler, so it makes it real simple for me. I'm going to cut. Cut. So I'm going to start laying these pieces out here. So I've cut out my block. Now this is what makes this fun and different. So I'm going to pull my little scraps out here. I'm going to pull my block out here. Pull this aside. 1 second. So just like that, the quilt block is finished. We can just keep repeating this step and repeating this step and make as many of these as you like. But before you just start hacking up all the pieces again, you can take the piece that you just cut off, and now that is your base to add on your new pieces here. So then you can start building this out and start making more blocks. So your last block then turns into your next block, and then it reduces the waste substantially. So just a nice little trick there for you. Once we're here at this step, it is time to add more blocks together. I've already made a couple of these blocks, and I highly recommend separating them with some kind of sashing. If not, it gets way too busy. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this sashing on, and I'm going to just choose the side that I would like it to be on. I'm going to throw it right here on this side. And then add them one by one like so. I'm going to flip this over and add this block on, which will finish off this row for me. Which then will complete this row. I'll go ahead and iron this out, but a couple more things I'd like to show you before we move on here is, let me grab my quilt top here. So obviously I've sashed it both vertically and horizontally, but I just want to give you guys a good look at all the different ways that you can do this. You can focus on, let me bring this into frame here, keeping everything nice and straight if you like. Make everything very, very symmetrical. You can do the more wonky blocks as you can see here, or you can do really bigger pieced blocks. All of these are options, all of them will look great, and if you put them all together, this is what your quilt top will look like. This is a super fun, fast project to make, and it brings out a creative side. You get to put all these pieces together, make this beautiful, unique pieces on every one of your blocks. Now, if anyone would like to make a quilt like this one that you see behind me, it's very, very simple to do. The only difference between making a quilt like this and a quilt like that is you have to be mindful of your center block. Put it in the center and then build out from there. Other than that, it's exactly the same. So, if you've liked this video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. As always, we're gonna leave instructions on how to make this project down in the description below. And one friendly little reminder, we do have our Newstash and Destash where you can pick up 5-yard bundles so you can make a quilt just like this for your own. My name's Teancum, teaching how to sew like a pro. We'll see you here next week at Sew Yeah Quilting.